everybody, and welcome back to Chaotic Crossover. My name is Will.
And I'm AJ. Man, it's good to be back in the swing of things, Will.
Oh, yeah, getting back to our regularly scheduled programming where we are pretty much going out to many viewer, and that is a real enjoyable time. But AJ, this show is going to be a little bit different. We're trying some things out here. First of all, if you like what you see, here and you want to see more, please make sure to just watch the video.
Yeah.
Just watch.
Just keep watching. You know.
Just keep watching it multiple times. You can like it. You can like it.
You're already 40 seconds in. You might as well just keep going. Maybe watch one of our other ones.
You can even subscribe, but we won't ask that.
You don't have to do that.
You know, we're not paid for this. But yeah, today there's a lot of different things coming out that have sort of caught our eye, and we figured let's talk outside of Star Wars a little bit. Let's see if we can break the mold a little bit. What are we looking forward to, movie-wise, show-wise? Could be even video game-wise. But first off, AJ, any particular things you've been into lately? Because this show is basically just going to be, you know, what are we sort of anticipating this whole new year? I don't know if you've been around for the past 30 days, but we're in the year 2025 now. We have to consider the future. We can't go back.
No.
There's no going back.
There's no going back, even if you wanted to. But yeah, I mean, both of us, we're just like huge nerds. So we pretty much look forward to anything in that sphere. There's a lot of different stuff that is coming up. I don't know if we're looking specifically at this year, but 2025 feels like it's going to be pretty packed going forward. After that, there's so much stuff to look forward to, and you know, superheroes that we talked about before, Star Wars, which we've talked about a lot before. You know, even like other media. Most of it's going to be nerdy, if I'm being completely honest. It's probably all going to be nerd shit. Maybe we'll try to branch out eventually.
I personally liked Nosferatu, and I wasn't scared at all.
I didn't see it. I did. Is it good? Should I see it?
Yeah, sure. We can make this an ad for Nosferatu. If you like getting scared and really just want to not impress your girlfriend, this is the movie for you. This has everything. It's got a weird Bill Skarsgård. It's got a scared and very sweaty Nicholas Hoult, and it's fun. If you want to see Johnny Depp's daughter just act like she is either under consumption or should be put into a mental institution because no one believes her, this is the film for you.
So did they do the classic Nosferatu look with like the bald head and like the hooked nose and shit?
Oh no, they didn't. He looks like if Mario became Schmeagol a little bit, but like they stretched him out. And I'm not gonna elaborate further. I'm not gonna elaborate further. I think you need to just figure that out.
That's just Waluigi. I think that's just Waluigi.
Yeah, but imagine as a vampire. If you could imagine it as a vampire, you're gone quite a ways. But I want to talk because we have a few things down the rabbit hole that are coming pretty soon. First off, let's talk movies. Have we seen any movies that we're looking forward to this upcoming year at all, AJ?
I think there's a bunch of stuff. I mean, I think you're a little bit less excited about this than I am, but next week, Captain America 4 is coming out.
Yeah.
Yep, I knew that would be a response. I'm really excited. I think it looks awesome. I'm excited to see Harrison Ford turn into a big red monster.
Okay, can I be honest? I'm pretty sure that's like 90% of the poll, and it's not really for any bad reason. Because I think Anthony Mackie is a fantastic actor.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Just my thing is, are they just gonna do Winter Soldier again? Like, is it gonna be like another like spy thriller, or
I think they're doing another political thriller type thing, which I think they could make it fresh and new. I mean, Winter Soldier doesn't have a Hulk.
That's you know what? You're right. this is the most interconnected Captain America's been since Civil War, and I think we can benefit from this. Some of that sweet Red Hulk synergy. Listen, Mark
Yeah,
Ruffalo, he's getting older, so you know what we need? A hot, even older guy to
I
mocap and get. By the way, ripped Red Hulk, like ripped Harrison Ford in like the body of an NFL linebacker. Didn't know I needed it.
I will say I think the biggest selling point of the movie for me, well, like one, they're kind of wrapping up a lot of loose ends with this movie. Like they're finally bringing
Yeah,
out Samuel Stern as the leader. They have the freaking big Eternal that was left in the ocean in Eternals. They have bringing up, but like
yeah.
I think the biggest pull for me is just watching Harrison Ford in all of the publicity stuff like actually seem excited about the movie because if you've seen him do anything for Star Wars specifically, God, he fucking hates being there. He just
I
hates
think
it. But then they're like, "Hey
it,
man, be a big Hulk," and he's like, "Dude, this is awesome. This is fucking cool." And I'm like, "Yes." He's
well,
excited about it, and so am
I th-
I.
I think for him, I think he's kind of come out of it a little bit because he's like, well, I'm dead now in Star Wars. Because basically, like I've seen him in other stuff. He's always very excited to like talk about it, especially if you're, just like psyched to see his stuff in stuff he wants to promote. But yeah, I do agree. He seems very excited about this. I'm very happy for him, Mr. Harrison Ford. But yeah, I think he just was like, well, they told me I get to play a freak, and I said yes. So I imagine the mocap for him was fun. Like I saw him at Comic Con, and he sort of did like his big like Hulk moment, and I'm like, that's cute. Somebody filmed that for posterity. But yeah, I think it'll be a good movie. I I think it's good that I have low expectations for it because I would love to be surprised. I would love to be surprised. Who knows? Maybe they'll put in a cameo that'll be fun. Maybe they'll actually let Captain America do something this time around. You know, Anthony Mackie, like it looks like he's going fast. Like it looks like he's going like supersonic with his wings. You know, so that could be cool. Remember when he lifted that truck with his wings last time around in the show? What if he did more though? What if he actually did some stuff with those wings?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be fun. I don't know if it'll. I don't think it'll burst anyone's mind, but
No.
I think it'll be a fun movie. I don't know that I don't think it'll get as much box office success as they're hoping for. But that's just because I think of the climate of cinema today, not necessarily
Yeah.
because it'll be bad.
Yes, because apparently Captain America's woke is always like one of those things where it's like Captain America gone woke, and it's like no, he's just Captain America. He's just the
But they're like,
spirit of America.
but he's black. What? What?
It's
And
like
then,
he's been black before. He will be
yeah.
again. That's
Uh,
life, kid. That's
uh,
comics.
uh,
That's
but we'll see. We'll see next week. I'm definitely going as soon as I can. So, uh,
Yeah, so we'll probably talk about that
yeah,
on
we will.
the show here. As far as keeping the Marvel train moving, Spider-Man freshman year, I believe is the name of the show is just come out on Disney
Uh,
Plus.
I think it's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Oh, I'm thinking of the working title they had like
Yeah,
4
yeah,
years
yeah.
ago when this was
I
in
think that's
production. But yeah, so your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. It's going to be a new show on Disney Plus. They already have 2 episodes out.
yep. Have you seen them yet? I watched them the other day.
So I've seen it through TikTok so far. Is really what I've seen it through. I'm
Okay.
looking forward to watching it. I think it's funny. Like we will be able to talk about this later, but just initial thoughts. This is what we're thinking right now. Why the hockey jersey? You're gonna get bunched up when you're swinging around trying to fight crime. You chose the biggest jersey out of any sport, Peter.
And somehow you found a spider one specifically.
Unless we want to believe he used stencils, but that drawing is way too good. Like I don't think he's artistically inclined like that, but I digress. I think it'll be an interesting show. I did see some of how he might have gotten the spider, and I'll have to actually watch the episode before I judge, but I'm
Yeah,
not sure based off of what I saw if I like how that happened.
I
But
did watch it. I think it's interesting. I think it captures the essence of who Spider-Man is, which is that he never has enough time for anyone in his life, and he is always fucking up, and that's just like who Spider-Man always
right,
is, and it is sad sometimes, but that, yeah.
yeah. Sometimes you learn that your heroes are an unreliable asshole who can't really find the time for anyone, which
It
is
seems like there's going to be a
yes,
lot of fun cameos in it. Um,
yeah.
I
It
from
seemed like
watching
there's a lot of characters.
the first two episodes, like it's obviously not Tom Holland's Spider Man, but it's definitely like a Tom Holland variant, which
Right,
is
and
interesting.
we get Charlie Cox Daredevil
Yeah, I don't know when that's
to
going to
do
happen.
that. I don't know, but he's wearing all black, and I'm like, oh, that's fun. But he's also got the horn, so I'm like, what's that about? Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna wait and see. We're gonna figure it out. But overall, I'm looking forward to watching that. I just have to find the time to sit down
Yeah,
and catch it. Um, but yeah, let's move on to the DC train
yeah.
if we're gonna talk about the mainstream so far for movies. AJ, you know this. Superman is the movie of the year for me that I really want to go see
I think it's a
because
lot of people's movie of the year. Absolutely.
yeah, and you know what? I don't care what they say about how David Cornsweat's face looks while
No,
he's
I don't give a
flying.
shit about that.
That's a face I want to see flying. You know what I
I
mean? I see
didn't
Dave Cornsweat, I run in that direction.
I didn't think it looked that weird. Everyone was freaking out about it, and then James Gunn was like, "Guys, that's how wide-angle cameras work." And then
Right. And also, I'm just going to put it out there. Sometimes my eyes aren't facing the exact same way. I'm
I
just
think it looks fine. I think it's going to be a good movie. I think it's going to be a really good movie. I think it's going to
good
be a
cast.
hit in
Good cast,
theaters.
looks good, and really, it's one of those things where it's like James Gunn, despite the fact that he's made the same movie for about 10 years now, knows how to hit the heartstrings. So I do believe that he knows how to tell a story pretty well. The main thing is we just don't know who the villain is. We see Nicholas Holt as Lex Luthor.
Yep.
He's seems to be doing very well, just looking like a straight pimp, just pimping
Very
9 to 5.
he's a baby-faced Lex Luthor.
I know, just a real tech bro, which I really enjoy. I
Better than
appreciate.
Jesse Eisenberg, which no one is arguing against,
That is
but
yet to be seen, but I do enjoy Nicholas Holt's work more
yep.
than him. So it'll be fun to see. I honestly, if they don't tie it into anything else, that'll be okay. Like if it's just like Superman, we know the Justice League is in it. We know all this
Yeah,
different stuff, but
kind
if
of.
it's just
Yeah.
like if it's just the story, as long as the story is consistent and strong, I have no complaints there. Although I do want to see him punch stuff. And that would be really nice to see on top of the saving. I want to see punches and I want to see saving. That's
Well, they are going to tie it into Supergirl, which I believe is coming out next year, and they started filming
that's
that recently
yes. So
with Millie Alcock.
that's gonna we will see how that turns out. I'm interested to see that movie too. It'll be an interesting adventure overall, starring Jason Momoa as
Yeah,
Lobo.
which
Which
I did want to talk about because I think everyone is on board with Jason Momoa playing Lobo.
right,
Everyone's like, that man looks exactly like him. I think there's still going to be some cognitive dissonance for some like young kids that are like, but that's literally Aquaman. What are you doing?
but he's gonna have like white face paint and like black, like crow eyes. So I think it'll be enough, and he's gonna have a fun time.
Yeah.
But
They saw the Robert Downey
honestly,
Jr. Doctor Doom, and they were like, "We can do that too. We can do that."
right? We could listen. I got a whole side tangent on that, but yeah, I think that casting will be fun. I just hope they're not trying to bait us. Where like, and he's gonna be on the adventure too. It's like, well, we could just like kind of put him in there
Yeah, he doesn't
for
need to be a
fun.
main feature of the movie. I kind of want him to have like he's like a bounty hunter, so he like goes and he hunts
Yeah,
Supergirl, and then I don't know, Supergirl beats him up and says, "Go away," and that's it.
yeah. Come again another day. So yeah, The DCU is definitely something we're looking forward to.
I mean, okay, here's the thing about that. Like, Superman
But
looks
are
good.
we?
I'm excited for the Supergirl. I'm interested in. I'm interested in the Lanterns TV show. I don't know that I'm excited about anything else DC is putting out.
Oh, you mean the Authority?
But
Everyone's favorite heroes, the Authority,
like,
or Paradise Island? We're doing we're doing
yeah,
the
I mean,
Amazonian
I started
show.
watching Creature Commandos. I never finished it
It's
because at the
good.
end of the
It
day,
it
I
goes
don't
well.
really care. Um,
Yeah. I mean,
I
I hear you. I hear
I
you 100% on that player.
it's the same thing. Like a while ago, I tried watching Peacemaker, and I was like, I don't care, and I never finished it. And they're making a season 2 of that too, and I'm like,
So it must
but
have done well.
I don't care. I'm glad that some people do, and I'm not trying to yuck anyone else's yum. But and I like John Cena. He seems like a great dude, to be honest. Like, I like
Oh
what
yeah.
he does. Like, but I just
He
don't
seems like
care
a
about
nice
that
guy.
character.
Yeah, he's a
I
great
don't.
guy who I don't think he could move his neck. I don't think he can, but he has an amazing heart. Yeah.
Well, neither can Batman, so you know.
No, it's all right. I think Pattinson can, but that was like the only one. But yeah, the DCU, we're gonna see how it all pans out. We're in the very beginning
Fair. Yep.
stages of that. But another show that is coming back on the air pretty soon. That listen, I don't want to give it bad publicity, but Invincible, and Invincible is a great. I want to say it's a great comic, but boy, is it a slog of a show.
I watched the first season. I loved it. I watched the first half of the second season. I loved it. And then they had that weird break in the middle, and I
It
just
broke
never
up the
got back
momentum.
into it. I
It
never.
just
Yeah.
That's the issue. Sometimes it takes too long, and the writing, I agree. Writing is very good. A couple of weird ideas, but not that bad. The bad thing is you're taking too long. You
Which
gotta
I
give
get
it
it. They
to
want to
us.
do it right. They want to make a good show. They want to make sure that
Right.
it looks good. But like, that's why no one cares about Stranger Things anymore. Is
Right,
because
but
they
but
took
you're also
years.
not. Yeah, it's taking very long, and it's not like they're splurging on the animation budget. I want to
No.
say that's Vox Machina. Vox Machina is getting that good milk money, man.
And
That's
that
an
shit's keeping
entirely-
me coming back, which I did want to mention
Oh.
Vox Machina later. I don't know when season 4 is coming out. Looks like not till next year, but still
Yeah.
very much looking forward to it.
Oh my gosh, tell me about it. I am fingers crossed when that show comes back. I mean, honestly, that's a show that I watched the live play of for Critical Role, but then
Yeah.
I'm still surprised when they do things in the show. Like it has fun with it, and you can tell there's a lot of love there. Invincible, there's love there, but there's certain itches for me that it's not scratching
Yeah.
character-wise.
Legend of
Maybe
Vox.
it's just because it's a bit of a parody already. Like we're kind of making fun of the DC universe a
Yeah.
little bit,
Yeah.
and also we're doing commentary on Superman and like Superman's son, which in the book it's amazing, and in the show it's also really good. It's just sometimes a bit of a hard sell with like, okay, are we getting to the point yet, or are we going to try and stretch this out?
Yeah, I really like the concept. I really like the voice acting's really good in it too.
Yeah, it's a good cast.
I just man, that break in season 2, like I don't remember what happens in season 2. And honestly, like the whole multiverse thing, I was like, all right, I've seen this
it's
so much. Why are you
dried
doing
up.
it too?
Yeah,
Why
we
are
don't
you-
have to.
Like
Uh,
the at least the Marvel and the DC universe have a backlog of multiverse characters that I do already care about to
Yeah.
pull from. Like, oh, cool, they're bringing in like freaking Elektra from the movie that came out 20 years ago. They're bringing back Blade. That's or Johnny Storm. I loved those Fantastic Four movies as a kid. That's some nostalgia. I got nothing for these other multiverse and Invincible, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
he's evil in every other universe. That kind of sucks. I don't like
it is
that.
weird. It is weird to think that he's okay. Actually, let's talk about Invincible.
Yeah,
for
let's
a
just talk
second.
about that for a second.
Let's talk about Invincible for a second. So, first of all, the multiverse thing is from the comic, so like it is
Yes,
kind of
yeah,
like
yeah,
the plot line they're doing there is, it's not like they made it up because like Spider Verse won an Oscar. That's not why. But I isn't it kind of a red flag? It's kind of like the issue with Batman when they've started doing like the dark multiverse thing with the Batman Who Laughs
yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
comics, where it's like, well, there's an entire dark multiverse where you're just terrible and you're the cause of most of the problems,
And
Batman.
you are the Joker, and it's like, okay,
Right, but us as the audience is like, but I like Batman, and I don't want him to be the issue
I don't want
anymore.
him to be. I want to root for him. No,
Right, and
this guy's scary.
I get that it's supposed to emphasize the goodness of our protagonist, that he isn't like that, but then it also would raise a lot of questions for me as like a person in that universe of like, so when are you gonna be bad, son?
Right.
Because it seems like everywhere else you're gonna be pretty bad.
Wouldn't it make more sense for there to be like a balance? Like, yeah, there's plenty of bad Invincibles out there. There's a lot of ones that want to kill our main one, but you know, there's a couple good ones here too, and there's some
I,
without powers, and it's more
yeah,
diverse.
I would settle for, let's say, five. Let's say five good Invincibles instead of
Not just
instead of
one.
instead of everyone being a totalitarian like dictator that we have to worry about that can
Right.
destroy the world.
Like what? And like, I'm sorry, what makes our Invincible special versus the other ones?
I guess he's nice. I guess he's so
Yep.
nice.
But like, what? I don't know. Anyway, that's
Because well, the thing
it's
that the
weird.
show does is that he kind of just talks the same, but he's just psychotic now. You know what I mean? Like it's not like his personality is much different. Like like what is it? Like Eve, he like paralyzes her, but he like
Yeah.
feels bad about it. And I'm just like, what's going on here? Like
It's like what? Okay. All right. You can paralyze Britta from Community. Um,
I
I
paralyzed her, so you know I can visit. I was like, that is a wild line that almost kept me hooked until the season 2 break.
yeah. That's exactly what happened to me. But I mean, back on Legend of Vox Machina, which we love. I think
Yeah.
that is like a perfect example of how to do an adult adventure with an ensemble cast, because
Yes.
everyone gets the spotlight a pretty even amount throughout the seasons. They all get
Yeah.
interesting arcs, and it's a cartoon
Exactly.
for adults.
Right.
Who's not
and
gonna love that?
right. And guess what? It's a pretty tightly written show. The
Yeah,
only thing I have an issue with is spoilers for season 3 of Vox Machina. So like Vax has like a death rash on his body. You're not going to be able to hide that for long, dude.
No.
Like,
no,
like
not at
also
all.
you and Keyleth, we see you sleep together. Like, you're not sleeping with that on. You know, you're not
There's
like
got to be some questions. I don't know. Like, see,
like what?
this show's so
Is
good.
he like Winnie the Poohing it? What?
I have no idea. Probably. Well,
He has to now.
I don't want to think about it too hard. But on like this show's so good that I literally like recommended it to my sister who knows nothing about Dungeons and Dragons or Critical Role, and I said,
Wow.
"Watch this." And I said, "I think you'll like it." She watched it and she's like, "This is amazing," and she watched the
wild.
whole series twice
Yeah.
in the span of like 2 weeks.
It's super rewatchable. You know, like the only thing I would say you can skip is just like that, like 2 episode intro in season 1 where it's like, how did they become the heroes of the realm?
I don't think you can, only because David Tennant's in that, and I don't think you can skip David Tennant in good conscience.
Well, I can because I was a supporter from day one, and he would have respected enough to know that it's not his show.
But it was that show's good, and I'm excited for whenever season 4 comes out. I think they're doing 5 seasons, but
Yeah, and I think they're doing Mighty Nine possibly in between. I think that it's going to be like sort of stacked. It's going to be a domino stack.
which I'm okay with.
And you know what? Give me Ford. I want my Travis Willingham
Yes.
articulate. I want him to be, because he's basically doing like Southern for that first half, and then spoilers, he gets to do his Thor voice essentially, just Thor voice. It's up a few octaves.
Yeah,
That's what
Thor
it
voice,
ends
but
up
not
being.
as yeah.
Yeah, not the. It's like Thor, but not Marvel Rivals.
Oh man, that. But yeah, I'm excited for that. Speaking of Marvel Rivals,
We could talk about Marvel Rivals. Why
we've been
not?
playing that a little bit. I'm fucking dog shit at it.
Hey, he's level 3. Everybody.
Hey, I'm level 4 now,
Oh
almost
right,
level
because you
5.
played with us. Yeah, that's
Yes,
why. Eh,
I'm not gonna get better. I know I'm not going to.
Yeah, what's for everybody who's wondering at home? What's your main?
I play Mantis because she's easy and dies the least.
All right, well, fair enough. Mantis healer is good. I play Star Lord because I'm lazy and I like full auto weapons.
I might try Star Lord, but I mostly play with you and our other friend, and I don't want to take him from you. So
Yeah, and you won't, and
yeah,
it's really sweet that you know that.
yeah.
Because I like doing barrel rolls. I wish he had more dodges though, like because you could only do 2 and then it has to recharge.
I never really loved the recharging mechanic in video games, but I understand that it helps with balance and shit. That's why I play Mantis.
Yeah,
She has like no recharge. Everything she does is like boom, 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 boom.
yeah. Meanwhile, Iron Man in that game is just like, I'm just gonna be death from above the entire time. So if you're not looking up, you're kind of fucked.
Yep. But I think we both have been having a lot of fun with it. I mean, it's Marvel Overwatch, and I think it's just a fun game that everyone loves, and they're already adding more characters, and I think looking forward, they're just gonna keep doing it. Plus, it's free, and
It's free to play, and it's wild that that's the case. You know?
I, I mean, if it wasn't, it wouldn't be nearly as popular, but it is, and
Yeah.
anyone can play it, and you don't have to play ranked because Lord knows I don't. Um, but like it's a really fun game. I'm excited to see who they keep adding. I know there's been some leaks. They're gonna finish out the Fantastic Four sometime this month,
Yes.
I think.
I think Daredevil's on the way.
I
I
haven't
think
seen the Daredevil leak, but everyone wants him. So
I think it's that everyone wants him, and Cyclops too. Like they're kind of waiting to see those. So I'm definitely also in anticipation for that. So I look forward to seeing what comes out of there. But I think they also need some more diverse gameplay. I mean, just like game types, I should say. They're
okay,
doing really well. I hate Convoy. Convoy's the worst, and I hope it dies 1,000 deaths. Um,
I think we're still we're like 2 months into this game, and I think with how much shit they've already told us that they're doing, I think they're gonna add so many new things to this. I think
oh yeah.
I mean, every character is overpowered, but that balances it somehow. Like
Yeah, pretty
it's
much
gonna
you could own with any character, and I think that's good. Like
yeah.
you could literally be the best at anything. So I appreciate that as a game. As far as games you shouldn't play, but I'm really enjoying right now is SpongeBob Battle for the Bikini Bottom, rehydrated.
That is not what I thought was gonna come out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Okay? What is this game?
So, SpongeBob Battle for the Bikini Bottom is originally a PlayStation, original Xbox, and GameCube game from like 2004, let's say. And then it basically came out as a remaster in 2020. And basically, SpongeBob has to destroy a bunch of robots that Plankton has created. And the robots have all turned on Plankton, and SpongeBob, Sandy, and Patrick have to save the Bikini Bottom. And it's
Will,
actually
Is this a
the
point and click
gameplay.
adventure?
This is not. This is this is most certainly not a point and click adventure. This is
Okay.
a. But I will say the remaster is cool because the animations are really fun, and if not anything else, it actually got me back into the nostalgia for SpongeBob. I watched a couple episodes and fell asleep to them last night. Like I was just kind of like, oh, this was like a magical time for television. You know what I mean? Like SpongeBob developed to be like something that honestly I think probably as the currency of a small country. Like I think it's made that much money.
Yeah, I mean, it is certainly popular. My mom and one of my sisters hated it as a kid, so I wasn't allowed to watch it because they found it so annoying. But I always did when I could. It was fun. It's a fun show, and they're always like, "It'll make you stupider. It'll make you dumber." And I'm like, "I think I'm already
It's
too far gone."
I do want to say some of the jokes actually kind of smart. So I don't know what they were talking about, but definitely a game you should check out. Not a new game, but something you
No.
should keep an eye out on the horizon. But yeah, any games you're looking forward to? We're talking about ones we're playing right now, but anything that you've been on or want to get
Uh,
when it's out?
I don't know. I mean, this is separate from video games, but the Dungeons and Dragons Monster Manual's coming out in a little bit. I'm excited for
That's
that.
true. That's it
Um,
because it's rebooting.
yep. But I don't know that I've like seen a lot of games. I was trying to do some research earlier, and I didn't see anything coming out soon that I'm excited for. I mean, I'm interested to see how that like Wolverine game that's been in development for so long does.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that game because on one hand, it's all like in development footage, but it's also like it kind of seems like the gameplay is very limited on like what you can do.
I have a feeling that the Captain America Black Panther game is going to be so bad. Maybe it won't be, but
Considering the fact they haven't talked about it since the trailer makes me wonder.
um, and yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see what comes out. I'm not as in tune with the video game news as I am with everything else. Maybe because I don't know. It feels like video games are like a lot broader of a range. I mean, the Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out sometime this year. I'm probably not
Not
going to
bad.
buy one, but I'm excited to go to a friend's house and play the new Mario Kart.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a ton. If there is one game I'm looking forward to, I think it would. You probably haven't heard of it. It's called Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. And basically, it's another like remaster. Like they remade the
Okay.
game.
Those,
But
those actually have been
it's
doing pretty well recently, from what I understand.
yeah. But this game, when it first came out, Snake Eater, it probably came out when I was like 5 years old. But I've played it since. It's genuinely one of the most immersive game experiences I've ever experienced.
That's awesome.
Because it's basically, you ever wondered what it was like to be Rambo, like sneaking through the jungle and shit,
I'm
and
so
like
bad at
hiding
stealth
in
games, man.
boxes? But that's the challenge, you know. So I'm looking forward to it because I think they got like the voice cast back, and the voice cast is great because like Snake, you've seen all the memes, but it's like looks like I found my way into the fortress, you know, like he sounds like he smoked like 1,000 cigarettes, and like it's not the best voice acting, but it's just like, but that's Snake, you know, it's just like Metal Gear, you know, like when they say things like that, you get a little you know,
Yeah, you
you
stand
like
at
your
attention.
you percolate a little bit.
I I I think that that'll be cool. That sounds like it'll be an awesome time, and I'm excited for you to tell me about it. I feel so. A lot of video games have been doing like remasters, like reboots, and a lot of the world has been. But I feel like video games seem to be the most successful at it, and I think that's
Yeah.
because in the last 20 years, video games have changed so much that if you take a game from 20 years ago, the graphics suck and the gameplay is limited. So I feel like they can just like make it better versus like a Disney remake. It's like you already made something good. You don't have to do it again.
Yeah, and I think they're allowed to expand the capabilities that you weren't able to reach in the original.
Yeah.
Because like for example, Dead Space. I have not played the Dead Space remake, but I played Dead Space so much from like since I was 15. So like we're talking like 10 years of Dead Space that I've been a fan. And the technology that they've been able to come up with that I've seen, it's amazing. and they've able to enhance the plot in that sense.
Yeah.
They've enhanced the story, enhanced like what a game can be capable of. Even like Resident Evil 4, which came out again in like 2005. They remade it, looks awesome. It's
Yeah.
badass, and they do a lot of good stuff. I think remakes for the most part are things that I look forward to as long as it's headed by like a good company. Like right now,
Yeah.
I'm jonesing for my Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Same, dude. I never played the original, but I
And
want to
how
play.
come it's not out? Remember that trailer when Revan came out and he was like, "I'm Revan," you know? I was
saw
like,
it got
Revan.
canceled though. It might have gotten canceled.
If it did, that's a mistake.
I watched. I remember I watched a whole over 100 episode playthrough of both 1 and 2,
Yeah.
each, and I was like, this is awesome. I'm bad at video games, but I would love to play this. I just don't have access to it because this game is old now. And now I'm
Yeah.
like, if they remade it, I would buy that shit day one.
Oh, if it was made by like BioWare now, like, and they put in like actual like physics and like if they mix the lightsaber combat along with like the other systems, it would be pretty cool. I just hope it's not
Right.
like one of those like Gauntlet copies where it's like choose your character and you have to do like the click buttons and like do the lightsaber action. I would hope they create like an actual combat system.
Right. Like if they honestly could just do what Fallen Order and Survivor did. Like
Right. And listen,
that same story.
for those of you who are saying it's like, well, you don't get a lightsaber until later. Guess what? You get the vibro blade in mission 1.
Or you can just like have a gun, and that is still a combat system that you can have.
You could do both.
And
Guess what?
and the
Jedi Outlaw
stories-
wasn't great, but you could. Yes, the story was great.
The
And
story
You
was
want to
so
know
good.
what's good? You want to know what's good for making money? Telling the same story again. just maybe with like the voice cast coming back and redoing some
But
lines.
but here's the thing, you can also like the fact is that it's an open world game and you kind of get to choose a bunch of different paths. So it's
Yeah.
like it's not even like, oh, they're just rehashing the same story. It's like, no, they're rehashing like a whole experience.
Oh yeah, and with all the things that have happened, like lore-wise in Star Wars, you can repurpose some things and put it in because with these remakes, you can change the story a little bit. I wouldn't say you change the plot, but you can definitely tweak it in a way that makes it more cinematic or more connected.
And you
know?
could make it so much bigger so easily. Like,
oh yeah,
I mean, it's already a pretty big story, but you know what? Let me just look this up. KOTOR remake.
my fingers are crossed right now. Everything's crossed because honestly, KOTOR would be the best thing to happen for Star Wars video games because I can't remember how well Jedi Outlaw did financially. I can't remember. How many
I don't know.
people
I actually kind of want to try Jedi Outlaw, but I don't have a lot of time for video games with all the other shit that I
Yeah.
do. That I want to. I've gotten like halfway through Fallen Order, and I want to finish it because dude, honestly, just walking around in the Star Wars universe is so cool because
Yeah.
like you explore all these different planets and you're like discovering new things, and it's not even like complicated shit, but it's so interesting just to walk through these environments and fight these different creatures. I think it's really
I agree.
fun.
I think it's super fun. But that's also why I like that old shit. Like what is it? Like Star Wars Bounty Hunter, which you say you don't want to play. I think you would like because guess what? Games were harder but also easier back then. There's not like there's not like skill trees. You know what I mean? Like I think you would like Battle for the Bikini Bottom because AJ, you're not good at video games.
No, I'm terrible.
And it doesn't require you to be good, especially back then. Like there's no counter button. You just press a button and shoot.
Yep. Okay, so I just looked it up. It is not canceled.
Yes.
But it looks like it's in development hell.
Fuck, this is a Half-Life 3 situation.
So I feel like we're not gonna get this for another like 10 years.
All right. Well, tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna learn how to code. And
Yeah, we'll do it ourselves. Uh-huh. Well, we
we're
can.
gonna crunch the numbers here.
Oh man, can you imagine? That would be so hard.
Oh my god, we would hate ourselves. We would hate
Oh,
Star Wars by the end of
we'd
that,
have
I
to quit
think.
our jobs, man, and dedicate every second to this, and
Yeah,
maybe it would come out in 10 years.
yeah. We have to do a Old Republic video. I feel like that would be
Yeah,
that would get negative views, but I feel like it would be fun.
I mean, we already get negative views. What's the difference?
Honestly, let's play with it. See what comes out of it. Cause yeah, leave a view or a like below if you think that we
Comment
should
hi.
talk.
I got this far in the video.
Right.
Below
If you got
got
this far, comment I want to see Old Republic vids cuz we've actually talked a lot about it. We love the Old Republic, especially like the comics, the games, just the stories in general because the potential that's there is weirdly enough more like fantasy than
Yep.
anything. Yeah,
And
like it's
man, it's
it's
so
very
cool.
impressive some of the things that can come out of it. Like it's truly, it's like nights in the darkness below and what you do with it. And there's everyone's British. Even if they're not British, they're British. You know what I
I
mean?
love it.
Like
I love it. And the lore of Star Wars, like, there's so much you can do when you watch like the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. Like, if you watch both of those things and you're a fan, you're missing out on like so much shit that
yeah.
there is. Like, man, like something I am looking forward to that also probably won't come out until next year is Ahsoka season 2. I just watched Ahsoka
Yes.
season 1 like a couple weeks ago, and
Because
I loved it.
they just recast Balin.
And everyone actually seems okay with the new casting, which I think is cool.
He is a good actor. My main thing is just like you can't beat Ray Stevenson, man. Like that's
And here's the thing: I think they know that,
right.
but they also, spoiler alert, they didn't kill the character in season 1, so
No, I think he finds where I think he finds like Mortis weirdly enough, doesn't he? Or he finds
something with
like
that.
a portrait of the son, the father, and the
Because you never
daughter.
finished season 1, right?
No, no, and it's not for any reason. It's just because I didn't have it just didn't interest me. Like
I really liked it. I really liked Rebels. I think Rebels is probably my favorite Star Wars project right now, which is crazy. Um, but it really just feels like it's Rebel season 5. Ahsoka is Rebel season 5. Uh,
that's fair. I feel like that tracks.
and I'm looking forward to that. Couple other things we haven't talked about. We haven't talked about Thunderbolts asterisk, which
Oh, that's right.
I'm
When is that
excited
coming
for,
out?
but like I want to say April.
April? You don't even know. You
No,
don't even-
I see. Here's the thing. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna watch it opening weekend, but I think it'll be okay. I think
I
it'll
think
be
it'll be
okay.
okay too. However, I do worry that it's literally just a bunch of people who shoot at each other. I think that for me, that's kind of like because for the Avengers, you have such a combo of powers. This just kind of seems like a lot of Caps and a lot of Black Widows is what this feels like.
Kinda. I'm I'm curious. I think it'll be good. I think I will enjoy it. I think it'll be a good show. I think it'll be an epic movie. I'm curious to see what the asterisk is for because they won't tell us. Um,
Right. I'm interested to see Bob. I'm pretty sure he's
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Sentry.
I think he's
So
confirmed to be the Sentry.
I think yeah, so I think that'll be fun. I hope they yoked him up. You know what I mean? Like they did what they did to Will Poulter. I'm just like, oh, I hope he got freaking bulbousy, with all
Yeah.
those muscles. I hope he got pecs. Does he have pecs? I hope he's got pecs.
I hope he's got pecs.
Yeah.
But I think Yelena and Bucky will be fun.
Yeah,
You know what? Let's just
I like how Bucky has that Winter Soldier gun again, like the disc. You know?
yeah, yeah. It seems like he's gonna be like somewhat of a.
Antagonist,
Okay,
maybe.
it's not April. It's May.
Okay,
May
but
2nd.
yeah, he's dude. He seems depressed in this one. He does, like, maybe because he's not hanging out with Sam right now. Like
Yeah,
it's like what Anthony Mackie said. It's like, I'm sad about this movie. None of my friends are in it.
I know.
Like,
I'm like, no, because him and Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan are tight. It
yeah, they
seems.
seem tight, but yeah, the like him just like dishwashing his fucking vibranium arm. I'm just like, this is what depression feels like.
Yeah.
Jonathan
So
Walker's like Googling himself next to his child in the little baby
I forgot he had a
crib.
child. Oh my god. I think it'll be an interesting advancement of the lore. Of the MCU lore, and I'm all about that shit.
Yeah, we
That'd
don't
be
really
good.
see a lot of Taskmaster. Be a
We're
shame
not
if
going
something.
to. Let's be honest.
Be a
She's.
shame if something happened.
It'd be a shame. It'd be a shame if they like replace her with a more comic accurate version. I don't care
Right.
that she's a woman. It's mostly the fact that she
It's
doesn't talk.
it's more the fact that she's a brainwashed KGB agent who has no personality.
Yeah, man. But that's May, and then I think competing with Superman to some extent, Fantastic Four,
Right, and
which
that
I
one
personally
you are excited for.
I'm more excited than I am for Superman, and I know I'm in the minority, but I'm excited.
I will go see both movies with you. I will hold your hand. We'll get popcorn, and I'll be there. We saw Fantastic Four.
Get to hold your
Listen,
hand.
I love Daddy Pedro as much as anyone. All
Who
right?
doesn't love Daddy Pedro?
I listen. If he can make me believe that he's Joel, it's not a stretch for Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, Mandalorian Grogu also honorable mention.
Right.
Don't know anything about it.
I like how he's just entertainment's dad now. He's just
I because there were so many rumors about who's going to be the Fantastic Four, and then people were like, oh, it's Pedro Pascal, and I was honestly like, I feel like he's like too popular now for them to cast him, and then they're like, no, we need to cast someone this popular, and I was like, oh, okay.
it is yeah, it's almost like the reverse of Superman. Like, you need to cast someone instead of like an unknown for this.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think for Marvel especially, it's like, what is this? What are we doing? Oh, we're gonna get one of the most prolific actors of our current generation. All right, fair enough.
Well, I feel like early Marvel. Something I do miss about the early Marvel. I'm not a big guy that's always like, oh, old Marvel was better. Because I like all Marvel. But what I love about old Marvel is that they had a lot of unknowns or just like smaller actors that they made superstars.
Right, like, you tell me that you gave a fuck about who Chris Hemsworth was before all this.
No, Chris Hemsworth,
No.
Robert Downey Jr. got his resurgence with this.
Scarlett
Chris
Johansson
Pratt's-
and Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson did work, but like they weren't like huge. Chris Pratt was made by Marvel.
Yeah. Like all these
Uh,
actors are made, and nowadays they're casting more established people
Yeah,
because they have the budget and the
right. Like
standing.
Brie Larson won her Oscar and then was cast as Captain Marvel.
And that seems to be
Which-
what they're kind of doing now. It's like as soon as someone wins an Oscar, they're like, "We're gonna snap you up." That's what they did to Mahershala, even though he hasn't been in anything yet besides a small
Right.
cameo.
Because he's Blade.
He's Blade.
I put in quotes because when is he gonna be Blade?
There have been news articles that I'm saying that they are still committed to making that movie.
Hear me out. We get Blade. Mahershala Ali is Blade, but then Wesley Snipes is Whistler. he's the guy who makes all the vampire traps for Blade. You hear me
Yeah.
out? I
That
think
could
that
work.
would be fun because then you get two Blades for the price of one. Maybe they even have the same haircut. I don't know. I'm just an idea guy.
I don't know. I'm just the ideal guy, man.
And maybe at one point they both try to ice skate uphill. Look at them, just having fun.
But that'll be fun. And then
Yeah.
something that I feel like you are excited for: Daredevil Born Again.
Ugh, I didn't even consider that it was coming out this year, but yes, Daredevil Born Again, ladies and gentlemen. One of my favorite shows of all time is Daredevil. I actually rewatched it all again last year. What a piece of piece of Americana. I don't have enough to really comment on it yet. I just hope they don't kill Foggy. It
Yeah.
feels like I hope Karen and Foggy are happy and alive.
I
And
don't want Karen to be a heroin addict, and I don't want Foggy to die.
and I don't want Karen to get AIDS, or anyone for that matter.
Yeah. Uh,
And I
it,
don't want Mysterio to be a villain. Actually, you know what? Hear me out. In the MCU, if fucking Charlie Cox's Daredevil meets Jake Gyllenhaal Mysterio, I would lose my shit. That would be hilarious.
isn't he
'Cause
dead? Didn't he die?
is he? That's one of those things
Oh.
that they played with. It's like, is he dead or is he not?
That would be cool. I will say I did see a couple things where they said it's going to be even darker than the Netflix show, which I am getting through for the first time now, and I'm like,
right.
you're going to make
It's
this
pretty
darker.
dark.
How many more times can you make him bleed out in the alleyway?
Right, but also I hope they know that wasn't like the pull for us. You know what I
No.
mean? Like that's not why we like Daredevil. It's because it was a well-written show.
It's
It's because Charlie Cox is carrying that thing and everyone else is doing their damnedest.
I will say, everyone loves Vincent D'Onofrio Kingpin.
He's
I don't.
okay. You know what? He's really okay. He's
He's
really okay.
They made him really childish, at least in the first season, which I'm like halfway through the second season now. So he's
Yeah.
kind of just like a little baby, and I'm like, I don't really want this big baby doing anything.
I will
else.
say the speech he does at the very end is pretty good. You know, he's like, "I am the ill intent." I'm just like, "Oh, that's fun."
Holy shit, Will, that was awesome.
Yeah,
That was a really good impression.
When I was a boy, my father, you know,
I feel like I'm all alone in the world.
he looks like he Vanessa, Nadim. He always seems like he's auditioning to be Caesar in Planet of the Apes. You know, that's how he always sounds. But yes, that show will be good, and he's running for I think mayor in that one. So we'll see. But yeah,
and you know he's gonna get elected. You know he's gonna win.
Well, especially with the way things are, you know, in the world, they're gonna try and make that a story plot. But
what criminals
that's
becoming
our,
leaders of anything? I don't know when that would happen.
Yeah. But anyway, everybody, that's our poll for this year. Things we're going to be looking forward to. Things we're going to be excited to talk about with all of you. So make sure you stick around. You could watch a video, you know.
Maybe just watch one. Just
watch one.
Just
we don't
please.
care, or else we're gonna watch it, and then we're gonna text each other. We thought this was good.
We thought this was good. Did that happen a couple weeks ago? Will not confirm or deny it.
Yeah, but until then, thank you again for joining us just for this little round robin conversation. But until then, for next episode of Chaotic Crossover, I'm Will.
I'm AJ.
Stay cool, cats.